Let's talk about this double ACL story that went viral. And it was the one thing I wanted to give George Kittle credit for, because he's an Iowa guy, is that you were out there talking about, what was your famous quote? What was your famous line?
Oh, I said F excuses. Excuses are for wusses.
That's right,
what I said. That was my.
Look at him, a backwards hat on.
Yeah.
What did I say? He looked like Pablo Sanchez if there's backyard wrestling.
Pablo Sanchez.
People can hear it. If we had our headset on, we'd be able to hear what you're saying.
Play the audio. I wasn't playing the audio.
Yeah. Play the audio.
Well, I mean, 8 days ago, I tore my ACL in my other knee. I'm wrestling with no ACLs. And, whatever, man. I didn't want to tell anyone because F excuses. Excuses are for wusses. And you know what? That was a tough turn for me. I could barely wrestle. I could barely shoot. I can't sprawl. But you know what? I believed in my coaching staff and everyone that believed in me. And here I am. So there you guys go.
How did you handle the self-doubt?
Well, I mean, there was no doubt. It was just, hey, no one else can do this but you.
Are you
My
uncomfortable
teammates
listening to this?
tell me no one can do this but you.
I was just so fired up.
And
Oh,
I
you
believed in
should
them,
be,
so-
bro. You won a
Were there
fucking
tough
national
moments?
championship 8 days after tearing an ACL. I get being uncomfortable. Trust me. When there's compliments, JP gives them to me a lot. I get extremely uncomfortable. And
The biggest fan.
yeah, JP's he's a tier one of the boys. But I understand you feeling like, I know you're in the moment, but dude, number one, how did you tear your ACL?
Oh, I tore it in the middle of Big Ten finals. First 30 seconds of the match.
Did everybody know it?
Well, I knew immediately. I tore it. I was kind of like, the guy actually scored on me, and then my nose started bleeding or something. And I remember running over the corner, and I'm like, my ACL's torn, and I'm like feeling it out. I'm like, oh yeah. I was like, I blew it out, but I still have the whole first period to go, next 2 periods, and I'm losing. I got taken down first, which never really happens to me. So I was kind of I was like, so I'm all confused. I'm like, what's going on? What just happened? And my coach is in my face, and I'm trying to tell him hey, I tore my ACL. And he grabs me. And he's like, wake up. And I'm like, okay. And I just remember going back to the middle and keep wrestling. And I never told him that I tore my ACL. So I end up winning the match 21-2. So he scored 2 points. And I ended up winning 20. Yeah, so I scored.
So dude was up on you 2-0 or 2-1.
Yeah, 2-0. And then I
and you're like, yo, I tore my ACL.
Yeah, so I scored 21 straight points. And I run off the mat. And I'm just trying to tell them about my knee. And they're like, oh, awesome match. You did good. Let's get ready for nationals. I'm like, Tom. Tom's like, what? Because I stopped him because we had guys in the finals at 33, 41. We were just go boom, 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 boom.
It.
Right, so he's getting ready for his coach. I'm like, Tom. I tore my ACL. He's like, your other knee? I'm like, yes, my other knee. He's like, what? And he was gone. Next thing you know, and I got doctors, and they're feeling my knee out, and then Dr. Westerman and Dr. Pearson are like, yeah. He goes, he's like, I'm 90% sure you tore your ACL. And I was like, I know it's torn. Okay, you don't have to tell me. He's like, we need to get MRI tomorrow. I'm like, no, we don't need an MRI. I was like, I know it's torn. He's like, no, we need to know what else he did. I'm like, I know what's wrong. I just didn't want to know, really. I didn't actually want to know what was wrong with my knee, but I was like, I know it's torn. And that was kind of what happened.
So did you get an MRI the next day?
Yeah, next day, and then just completely torn ACL.
Just a clean ACL tear?
ACL.
Nothing else?
Yep, nothing else. I was very fortunate. They always tell me, that was my 3rd time tearing an ACL, and I've only ever torn an ACL. Very clean. As clean as it can get, they always tell me. So I guess I got really good. I'm really good at tearing things very cleanly.
This bus is good at tearing their ACL.
Yeah, gosh.
Just Taylor catching a stray bullet out of nowhere.
I hope not.
So did you had another, you tore your other ACL before you tore that one?
In the NCAA finals 2 years prior.
Okay, so when you went into the nationals this year, you only had one actual torn ACL at the moment.
Well, they're still, my right knee's still torn.
You didn't get it fixed?
No, I never got it fixed.
What the fuck, dude?
No, I never.
Why didn't you?
Still winning.
Well,
I was down 2-0, then I tore my ACL, and he's like, let's go. And I'm like, okay, go to the middle of the mat, and I win 22-2.
Well, the thing was, I had surgery with an awesome doctor, and he was Pittsburgh Steelers doctor, Dr. Bradley. So I was at a great doctor, and he did an awesome job, but I ended up just freak accident tearing it again in the NCAA finals, in the second period NCAA finals, and I was like,
and this was
this is my sophomore year. So when I won my second NCAA title, I tore it in the second period, just randomly. The guy was Matt returning me from I was standing up, and he pulled me backwards, and my knee just gave out, pop, and I was upset because I'm like, I got surgery. My knee felt 100%. Wasn't wearing a brace. Nothing. Boom, just tear it again. You know, a year and 2 months after I have surgery. You know, I've only been healthy for like 4 months, really. You know how surgery goes to ACLs. Like, you're healthy, but like you really start feeling good after like 10 months. And so I'm like, I don't want to get surgery. I was like, I'll just see how I do. And I just kept wrestling with it. And I wore a brace all year. And, you know, now it's pretty strong. So that's.
So when you tore your ACL in that sophomore match, were you winning or losing at that point?
I was winning. Yeah, okay. I was winning. I was winning. I think I was winning 2-0, but he rode me out, and I got like a stall call, so I got like a point for stalling because I made him. He was stalling the first period when I took him down, and so I ended up winning the match. I think 5-0 in that match, and he chose neutral and I took him down. Yeah. So that was pretty.
JP in wrestling, like you're gonna hear phrases like "ride me out." It's a wrestling phrase, so don't be fucking childish back there.
He's gonna make fun of me. Hey, yeah. I got
ride me out. Yeah.
Hey, relax.
So at any of these moments, like we've all obviously seen a bunch of guys who tear ACLs. I've been fortunate. I've only torn my PCL.
Heals on its own.
But were you just not battling pain? Like what I don't know. Like I see some dudes, they can't walk right after. Sometimes their adrenaline's going and then they don't feel it till later at night. Some guys walk into surgery. Obviously they can't like play football or play their sport and they get surgery to repair it. Like, are you not experiencing pain like after you tear your ACL?
Well, yeah, there's, I mean, the pain's really from like the swelling and like, you know, you're exploding off of it early, like just stuff like that. So, I mean, there was more pain at the NCAA tournament than there would be like now, like if you wait like 6 months, right?
Right.
So, but I mean, it's not really the pain. It's more like you can't do things. Like if my buddies wanted to go play like spike ball, I can't play spike ball. Like,
right.
Because I don't want to hurt
too.
myself. Right. Yeah. Like the stinks. Like, so it's like more like that. Like there's things that inhibit you. Like when I said in the interview, like, oh, I can't shoot. I can't sprawl. I can't, you know, I really couldn't do anything. Like I was basically just like walking at the guy like a robot and was just trying to get my hands on him so I could move him with my hands rather than being able to, you know, explode, like tackle the guy or, you know, get to, it was just like, the way I wrestle, I couldn't do it, and it was just and I really couldn't because really messed me up. Was my right knee was good, felt good, but after you hurt your left knee, you're doing everything again with your right knee. My right knee started hurting me again, so I'm trying to just stay complete. Like, my whole goal was to stay healthy at the national tournament. I was just trying to stay as healthy as I could
with a torn ACL.
Yeah, when they were both torn.
As healthy as I could with a torn ACL.
Well, my sport's a little different than football. I don't have to cut or explode or run. You know,
for sure,
my knee stayed bent. You know.
Yeah, for sure, but it's still like the way you have to plant and do everything else. Like all it takes is for your shoe to get caught a little bit on the mat to damage it even more, like kind of put you out. But I'm like so curious about even the pain factor too. Obviously, you're a tough SOB.
Yeah.
But like, I mean, 8 days after tearing an ACL, right?
That's not what I meant.
I am a badass. The first one, when you toured at the NCAA tournament, obviously that was a championship, so you won. So it's like, hey, it's all good. At least we won. We got out of it. Were you feeling more pain after that one than you were this one?
I would definitely say this one hurt more than the one 2 years ago. I think, but the one 2 years ago, I already had surgery on it. I had a graft in it. I was doing physical therapy for like 3 years. You know, I feel like after I tore that one again, I still had like a lot of like stuff in my knee keeping it strong. So I was able to do like, my trainers and my doctors, they were always kind of like making fun of me because as soon as I tear it, they do all the tests like whether or not you had an ACL tear or not without an MRI, and I could do everything. I could, you know, one-legged squat, I could explode, I could jump, I could cut, you know, but the instance was as soon as like it did give out, like that instance, like if you posted wrong, boom, like I would just fall on the ground, and you know that would hurt like crazy. Then my knee would swell up, and then you're getting it drained, and you're icing it again. You're going, you know, you don't want to go backwards. So like it was really, it's a long process. I mean, surgery is a long time, but not having surgery is still a long process to
100%.
You know,
So, and then the 8 day one, when you had 8 days, like what protocols were you kind of doing to kind of keep yourself out of the weeds of like it acting up?
Oh, it's
because
hard.
You can kind of like, you probably want to train a little bit for the NCAAs, but at the same time, you're probably kind of in shape, I guess.
Yeah.
So like, what are you doing in those 8 days to keep swelling down and making sure you're ready to go like for the freaking national tournament?
I had, and those 8 days were pretty much like living hell, to be honest. I mean, I was doing 3-hour workouts a day, basically.
Still?
Every day. Well, my workouts, I couldn't wrestle, so I would have to go in and I do my physical therapy would be like to strengthen my quad. I'd be flexing my quad. I'd be doing like stim. I'd be doing, exercises where I'm firing my quad because you want to fire your quad, because that's keeping the swelling out and you're keeping the muscles from atrophy because once swelling starts, atrophy after like 12 hours, atrophy starts happening, you lose muscle. That's bad for like, obviously you don't want to lose muscle. Mm-hmm. So I'd be doing like physical therapy for like an hour and a half because I had to warm up like 30 minutes on a bike and then I'd have to, I'd do like jumps and flex my quad and then I'd have to do my workout. So the coaches then put me through an hour and a half workout so I could keep in shape, and then I have to, I'd go home and I'd have like an hour and a half to sleep. I'd sleep and I'd go back in and then I'd hour and a half of therapy into another hour and a half of a workout. Then I have to go in at night for like my weight to keep my weight down because my weight's always really good. I'm not a big guy at my weight class, but for me it was really hard because you go from wrestling every day and being able to run because I ran a lot. I loved running. That was like my way to like keep my weight down, keep in shape. But now I can't run. Every step hurt to run. I couldn't run a treadmill to save my life. So now I have to bike and I have to like aerodyne and I have to. For an hour and a half, and then I have to, I couldn't even jump rope. So like I had, arm row machines, everything, whatever it could do to like another hour and a half, and then I have to do physical therapy again with ice in my knee and stem and quad every day for like 8 days straight. Like I literally lived in Carver Hawkeye Arena like for like almost 9 hours a day, just trying to keep my knee from swelling and to keep in shape and to keep my weight down. Like it was just constant. Like and my teammates are. They're like getting ready for national tournament, so they're tapering. They're not coming in as much. They're staying off the mat. So I'm in there 9 hours a day, and they're in there for like an hour and a half, 2 hours a day. So like it was just like they never saw that thing because I was always in at different times than everyone else because of COVID, and everything. So I was the only guy one of the 2 guys on my team who didn't get COVID. So I was actually trained at different times than everyone else because they were trying not so I wouldn't get COVID. That's the only way you lose, right? So I was just like, it was just like
you're just in it.
Yeah, dude. I didn't have time to do school. Like it was either sleep or do homework, and I chose sleep.
We're not doing homework. Like, we got to win a natty.
I was begging my teachers like, hey, just let me do my homework late, like please.
Yeah,
like,
hey, student athlete. Like we're not trying to do homework, dude. We're trying to win championships.
Well, school's important too, but
you can look at the camera.
I gotta say that, right?
Hey, school's important.
School's important, everybody. Yep. That's first thing,
bro. Yeah, that's nuts, man. Then you get to the tournament, right? And so, are you nervous about your first match?
I hadn't wrestled.
Right, that's what I was going to say.
I didn't even know how my knee felt.
Right. So, were you nervous, going into your first match? Yeah. Like, I wonder how this thing's going to react. Because, again, this isn't, you don't have the graft, you don't have the stuff that you rehabbed on your other ACL. Like, this is a new ACL. Like, nothing's happened to that leg. So, were you nervous going into, like, the national tournament thinking like...
Yeah, so they had to get me a brace. So they had to get me fitted, and then the brace came in like 2 days before national. So I never wore the brace before on my left knee. So then you tape... I always tape my knee, then I put a brace on. But then your knee's so stiff from the tape and the brace being so tight. I can only bend my legs like here.
Right.
Like it was like... So I can't even like... I couldn't really do anything with it. So I'm trying to like drill before like my matches to see how it felt, and I could like barely drill. And like then my knee would like give out one time, like before, my knee would give out. So then we're trying to make sure it's not swelling. And my coach is like, okay, you're good. You'll be fine. You'll be fine. We'll just warm you up like on a bike. So I'm warm up on a bike and then tape my knee, putting the brace on, then I'm going out to wrestle, and I'm like, I have no idea what's going to happen. So I go out there to wrestle and I end up getting a quick takedown. I turn the guy and I go off the mat quick. I'm like, okay, that's good. That's the plan. That's what you want to do.
Quickly took him down and pinned him.
Yeah. So I got off the mat as fast as I could. That's what I wanted to do. But that didn't end up happening the rest of the tournament. All my matches went the full distance after that. So I had to learn how to...
Were you ever in pain when all this stuff is happening?
I mean, during the match, you know how it is, adrenaline. I was fine, but like my problem was like I didn't have the ability to do things. Like I remember I got taken down like twice by a kid in the second round, and both times I don't even remember how I even got scored on. I'm just like wrestling, and he like grabbed my ankle and pulled out. Next thing you know, I'm on my stomach. Like my knee just like I couldn't do it. Like I just fell over. I'm like, oh shoot. Yeah. Like somebody's on top of me, and I'm like trying to get away. I'm like, what the heck just happened? It's just like there are things that happened. And then you come off the mat, and then, after pulling your knee out, and your knee hurts. So then you're going back home. You're doing the stim. You're doing the ice. You're still flexing. Then you got to make the weight, and you still got to compete the next day. So it's like I was constantly like just doing these things, and it was just like no one sees that. They just see the interview, right? Like
right. They see you win the
Oh, no excuses, right?
No shit. That is
So,
yeah, no excuse. I just
did it,
misunderstood.
Right? Yeah, no, but there's always more to it. So
yeah, 100%. Apologize.
Yeah, my bad.
Is it good though?
Yeah, you're good.
Okay. All right, cool. So you win. Now, What's the thought process? This is the same thing thinking, I don't want to have surgery on this ACL. Like, why hadn't you wanted to fix this knee? I hope you guys like this clip. If you want to continue to be for the boys, you need to like this video, subscribe to the channel, share with a friend, and check out our playlist. We have all the links right here on the screen. As always, biggest of hugs and tiniest of kisses. Also, go check out the full episodes, but always for the boys.